Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and I'll be talking about the new Heroic Salamander's Power Sword in Space Marine 2 Patch 14 on the public test server, and why this weapon might actually be the best power sword in the entire game. And you're probably thinking, what the hell are you talking about, FTG? I thought you said this weapon sucked. Well, the reason for that is this weapon is so bugged that it is straight up non-functional unless you jump through some hoops. The heroic perk effect is called Nocturne's Retort. Perfect parry to empower the blade and deal 1 more damage to the next light attack in speed style. Hold up to 5 empower stacks. The parry window is smaller. So this perk description does not do justice to the actual power level of this weapon. Basically, you have a block parry window or the identical parry window of an Argent Edge, and as long as you get any like perfect parry, you will stack these empower stacks, and every single empower stack will give you a 300% damage buff after your next light attack, and this will also apply on any further empower stacks to things like your power rake, your power whirl, and even your ground pound. So this weapon can straight up one-shot Majoris and do tremendous damage to bosses and extremis. That 300% damage bonus is kind of insane, and all you have to do to apply it is just to do 1 light attack in speed style, and then your following empower stacks will be used on like anything you want, really. So why has this thing seemed so shit? Well, the reason for that is, number one, it is completely non-functional on the Bulwark class in the public test server, and also to use this on the Assault class, you have to swap your loadout in-game from like a Power Axe back to the Heroic Sword here, so you can actually make sure the perk is properly functioning. We're going to demonstrate this in-game now and show just why this thing is actually so strong. Alright, so here we are in game with the Humble Carnifex, and now I'm going to showcase how this works exactly. So our normal power rakes will only do like 105 damage here, but if we get a perfect parry on him and we stack those in power stacks, we will be able to use our falling light attacks to buff up our power rakes. So here we're doing 330 damage instead, and you can stack that up to 5 times, so you could get, you know, double hits on a power whirl. We are invulnerable right now, so don't get knocked over, but as long as he actually gives us these parries, as long as you stack up those empower stacks, you will not use them until you use your next light attack. So if we do it like this, okay, so there we go. That's just a power whirl. That's like a quarter of his HP. And we just did even more on our remaining stacks there. So that's actually a very powerful ability in the game. And I also want to show this on the ground pound here, where all we have to do is get the parry, 1 light attack, and then we'll go up and we'll land back on him for 500 damage, and that is without a precision strike or anything like that. So this weapon is actually incredibly potent, and that will straight up one-shot Majoris and stuff like that, and even potentially Extremis. So don't sleep on the Salamander's Power Sword. This thing is actually pretty strong. It was just not showcasing its proper power level. So hopefully that gave you an idea of just how powerful this weapon actually is, because the Salamander's Power Sword, despite having no burn effect, which is pretty lame, does do a ton of damage and can fully one-shot Extremis enemies. And now I will say, whether or not the perk effect here applying to things like Power Rake, Power Whirl, and your ground pound, it makes it all the way into patch 14, we don't know for sure, but even if it's just your light combos, an 11 base strength with a 300% multiplier on it for 5 attacks, that's pretty substantial, and this weapon actually feels pretty good. It was just horrifically bugged. Now, I do want to mention that this weapon's perk effect is supposed to trigger on light attacks and things like your jump pack dash and your sprinting combos. Unfortunately, it only functions on the speed style attacks right now, but that might change in the official launch as well. But that is pretty much all there is to say about this weapon. Some people have been speculating that this might actually function on the shield bash as well in the official patch launch, but we can't really test that at the moment because this weapon is just straight up non-functional on the Bulwark class, which is pretty lame. But this has been one of the buggiest public test servers ever, which is part of the reason everybody thought this weapon sucked. But no, guys, this one's pretty cracked, and it might just be the best weapon in the entire game for the Power Sword variants, and it is definitely the best of the 2 fencing variants, even with that reduced parry window. And a reduced parry window here with that kind of damage buff to Power Rake and Power Whirl, that might actually be a justified debuff for this heroic effect, just like the Argent Edge. But that's all I have to say in this one. If you like content like this, subscribe for more. If you want to watch me live to ask me questions about the game or just come hang out, you can find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description, and also a link to my community Discord. And as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye.